Hey guys, Zach here, coming at you with another video. So if you remember last week's video where I did some touching up to Luigi's Mansion 3 in the trailer, I'm kind of doing that again, except with a different game. I'm doing that with Super Mario Party. I think Super Mario Party is definitely a step in the right direction for Mario Party, but it is far from perfect. In fact, it's actually even far from great. I'd say it's like at the just below good level, actually. There's a lot of things wrong with it. The game is very bland. It's ridiculously bland. So this video, I'm tweaking things in Super Mario Party, but it's going to be a little bit different than the Luigi's Mansion one. In this video, I'm actually going to be changing aspects of the actual game itself. In Luigi's Mansion 3, I changed basically the brightness settings. Basically, that's all I did, and added a few little things. Whereas here, I'm actually changing elements of the game itself. Now, mind you, like I said, it's a lot different than the Luigi's Mansion one, so it's not going to have that polished look because I'm using basic photo editing software. I'm not using Photoshop, I'm not using the big expensive things. So, this is just me making creative choices to change Super Mario Party. So, what changes did I make? Let's find out.
Zach Pack, he's always there for you. Zach Pack, only on YouTube. Zach Pack, what will he do next? Zach Pack, let's find out, 'cause it's on with the show.
Alright you guys, so I want to preface this all by saying that obviously last week I posted my Luigi's Mansion graphical updates video, and this is going to be a little bit different. It's not going to be as polished looking. These are just conceptual ideas of something I think they could base it off of. Because I think that Mario Party, or Super Mario Party in general, looks very, very bland. And I've created a few things, obviously, as I said in the intro, to spice it up. So, starting here, we have, obviously, the Super Mario Party logo. And I have no clue why they went for this logo, where Mario Party is in all white. It's one of the weirdest looks I've ever seen. So let's see how I've changed that. Bada bing. Now, obviously, like I said, it is not perfect. It doesn't look polished and everything, but that's just a general gist of how I think the logo should look. Super should be the white word, and then Mario Party should be in color, and Super should be small. You know, it should be, you know, I mean, it kind of is in the original title too, but here it's, you know, it really supplements it. It feels like it's not really part of the title, but you know, it is part of the title. You know, it's kind of hard to explain, but I think just having the Mario Party pop more really emphasizes the fact that this really is the Super Mario Party. And obviously, I kind of tried to replicate, you know, like a startup screen or like a title screen. So I have press start at the bottom, which I thought was a nice little touch I did. So next up is here. This is the character select screen. The character select screen isn't horrible, but again, it just looks so generic, where all the characters are just standing in front of a white background. You know, it just doesn't look that vibrant. And then look what I did. Now, it isn't, you know, it doesn't look the best, but this is just my concept of it. That all of the good guys are in front of a blue background, and all the bad guys are in front of a red one, and you just move hands and go over the character that you want to be. Now also keep in mind that I did add a few extra characters, you know, keeping in mind maybe that there might be DLC or something, so I added Egad, Birdo, Blooper, and Petey Piranha, because I thought they would be interesting additions to the Mario Party cast, and I thought 5 in each row would look really, really weird, so I wanted to add a couple extras to you know, to make it look better. But yeah, the only thing I didn't really account for is where it says choose your character, press A to select. That it kind of covers up Dry Bones and Pom Pom a little bit, so I didn't account for the space I would need for that. But you know, there's all the hands that are different colors that have the number of the player on them. So yeah, that I thought was pretty interesting. I hope that, you know, that looks good to you guys, or at least something in this kind of concept. Whereas it's not just like they're all like, I don't know, it just looks so generic in the older one. I don't know why they make it. The past few Mario parties have done this, where like like when you choose the character, a preview of the character you chose comes, at the top, where, like at the very top there. And I don't know why they're doing that. Is it to make sure you know the character you're choosing? And I know Mario games have done it before, like Mario Kart Double Dash, but that was relegated to like a very small part of the bottom of the screen. So I have no clue why literally 3/4 of the screen is the preview for the character you chose. You should just have the grid, all like be very colorful, and choose your character. You know which characters you're going to choose, so why devote like 3/4 of the screen to seeing a preview of the character you chose? It's pointless. So next up here, we have the intro scene to Whomp's Domino Ruins. I just took just a picture, a screenshot of, where it says Whomp's Domino Ruins. And I mentioned this in my Luigi's Mansion video, but I don't know why they like to use the color white so much. It doesn't pop out. Like, why would they just put Whomp's Domino Ruins as white text at the very bottom of the screen? Let me just get to the improvements I made. Bada bing. Like, oh my god. Like, it's not like a Podge logo, like it doesn't look great or anything, but just something in that design. Just, it would make it look so much better. Having the stage have an actual, like, logo with the Whomp on it. Or, like, for the King Bob-omb stage, it'll have King Bob-omb on it. And I'm going to make a lot of tweaks to this map in particular. I mean, not tweaks to the map, but every single example I have for tweaks to Super Mario Party, it takes place on Whomp's Domino Ruins. I didn't touch the other ones. Because I think this is the one that had so much potential to be really cool, but it just ended up being such like a gritty map. And I won't get into it, but like just having this small change of the logo of the map going from this generic white text to this, to where it pops out and it's more vibrant. I even used the white that they so loved to use, but yeah. So here we have right before you're starting up the game, where Toad is doing this introduction to you. Oh my god, this text could not be any more generic font. Like, oh my lord. So I really didn't change too much here, but I changed the font. Bada bing. So now it's like a true Mario font. It feels more like Mario and less like generic. Like, I feel like when they use basic text fonts, it just looks so generic and, bland and boring. Whereas if you use a Mario font, it really does liven it up a little bit. It doesn't look amazing, but it looks much better than this. I mean, I can tell you that much. So yeah, let's move on to the next bit here. So I think the interface of Super Mario Party is terrible. I think it's way too complex for what it needs to be. There's like a whole menu system, and really before, everything was just relegated to a button that you push. Like, you push Y for the map, so you pull up a map, but now, because they added a bunch of different concepts to it, now, you have different categories for everything. Well, I completely changed the whole interface of this, and I will show you that now. Like, oh my god. Like, hold on. Like, actually, let's go back. Alright, so you see the top right-hand corner where all the character stats are? Again, they like to use the color white. It's so generic and bland, and, even if you look back, it's kind of hard to read, some of the information. Imagine playing in tabletop mode. Oh my lord, I can't even imagine, trying to read all that text. But then you do this, where the numbers are bigger, you see the colors of what space everyone's landed on, the character's bigger. So it's basically like it's kind of like Mario Party 8's thing, where like, where it shows, like where all the people are on the side, but rather than having the wheel kind of rotate, from each turn, so the person who's going is always on top, like in Mario Party 8, this I made it different. So the person who's going, their icon is bigger than the rest of them, showing that they are going, or that they've, just went, or whatever. And their face is on the side there. Like, going back here, you see, like, first, second, third, fourth, it's generic white text. So I put it, like, so that the gold text is, like, that's first place, silver is second, bronze is third, and then fourth is green. Like, I don't know what's hard to do about that. Now let's go back to the other picture. Can you see where it says what turn it is? I'll give you guys a couple seconds. in case you haven't found it, it's there at the bottom. You cannot see it. So I put it at the top and I enlarged the text, made it bigger, made it more obvious. Because lots of people always pause to see what turn it is, so why not have it at the top in big bold text so that you know what turn it is. And I also changed the font of the menu options on the left, because again, generic, bland, white text. I hate that. So now I did the Super Mario font, and oh my god, it looks so much better. And I think that's all the stuff that I changed here. But, like I said, I think the whole interface of Super Mario Party is really overcomplicated. So, here is what a typical turn looks like in Super Mario Party. So, you know, you have to go through all these menus, especially if you want to use a different dice block or different items. It's so complicated. So I kind of changed it a little bit, and here's how I kind of viewed how you should make Super Mario Party look when you're playing on the boards. Now again, this is very rough because obviously I don't have any skill in 3D animation, so I just used 2D images on a 2D plane. That's all I did, so bear that in mind when this plays. This is just conceptual. So, let's play it. So as you hopefully saw, it made it go a little bit quicker. Like it was quick, it was to the point. You know, it didn't BS you with anything. You pick the dice. Something I didn't put on screen is that you could probably hit B to choose an item, but you just choose the dice and you go. It's not complicated. I don't know what, you know, like why they made it so complicated when it comes to choosing a dice. It makes turns longer. It doesn't make them drastically longer, but it makes them longer enough to to really, you know, drag it on quite a bit. I mean, 10 turns can take up to an hour, I believe. That's absolutely crazy that 10 turns can take an hour. It's because of that, how slow and how much it drags on. So, yeah. And mind you, I also made this pretty slow. Like, I made it intentionally slow to show that this is really slow. You know, it would be so much faster in actual game. So the last thing I want to show off here is the minigame wheel. Now, oh my god, when I say that I hate the color white that Nintendo is using in their games, this is inexcusable. Like, why does it look so clean? You know, there's no brightness to it. It's not creative. Oh my god. And why are they doing it over, like, a white background? There should be something colorful, or hell, the board as the background, like in the other games. So here's my rendition of what the minigame wheel screen should look like. So, obviously the question marks represent a minigame that's not unlocked yet, the blue ones are just the regular minigames, and then the yellow one is the coin minigames where everyone wins. And obviously the arrow on the screen will roulette through all the minigames, and then it will land on one of them. Plain, simple, easy. Just zoom out from the board, put the minigame wheel up, and then there you go. I don't know why they're doing this bright, white, bland, generic thing. I hate the font. It's so generic. The white is like off-putting. It makes you, at least for me, I could barely read some of the mini games on there. And then you have this where the text is big, the font's big so you can read it. It's colorful, so it's pleasing to look at. And, you know, like I said, this is just conceptual art, so this is not how it would actually look. It wouldn't look this basic. You know, it would probably be more complex. But, yeah. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I enjoyed doing the Luigi's Mansion one so much that I think Super Mario Party needed the same thing. Now, mind you, this isn't everything that I would change. I would change the design of the boards completely. Like, I would completely redo the boards and redesign them. But since I don't have the artistic ability of 3D modeling and stuff like that, it's a little bit hard for me to do that. So I'm not able to do that. Maybe one day I can do like an arts and crafts thing where I would physically make like the boards, you know, and how I think they should look. I could physically make them, but that would require a lot of time and a lot of materials. So maybe one day in the very far future. So anyways guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know down in the comments what you think about these changes, if you like them, or if Super Mario Party is fine the way it is with you. So until next time guys, I'll see you in the next video.